we are strong believers of keeping in touch with our past students. And this morning, I have the great pleasure of welcoming Clayton Lethbridge back to grammar to share some of his thoughts on boarding and life with us. Clayton, or as Mr. Wilson would call him, Lefty, was the first of 3 Lethbridges from Werrington Station located at the top of Lynd Highway. He began his boarding life in 2005 as a small and innocent grade 8 boy, a real bushy. He was soon followed by his sisters Kate and Georgia. In 2009, Clayton was inducted as a school prefect, boarding captain, and captain of what I hear was a fantastic first 15 rugby team. After he graduated from school, Clayton headed straight back to the country, spending a few years on the very big Lorraine Station, learning his trades as a stockman. As an enthusiastic, passionate and keen young ringer, Clayton took over the management reins of Rainmore Station in the Alfred district as a 21-year-old. And 6 years later, he is looking to invest in his own cattle property. Please make Mr. Clayton Lethbridge to the welcome Mr. Clayton Lethbridge to the left chair.
G'day. Principal, Mr. Kelly, school leadership, staff, students, and especially boarders. Thank you, Priscilla, for that introduction. I'm not used to being called Mr. Lethbridge. That's my father. Can I say it's such an honour to be asked here by Mr. Wilson to speak today about my 5 years here at Grammar and at this very special assembly celebrating boarding and 130 years of boarding at Grammar. I'm a proud past grammarian. I'd like to start with a quote that means a lot to me and my experience here. It's the work you do without the ball that'll win the game. I'd say some of you have probably heard it and thinking, oh yeah, great, another rugby dirt licker is going to tell us how good he was. But no, I'm not here to talk about rugby. This quote has a deeper meaning than you might think. Every day, every one of us has to make a decision of some sort, whether it's deciding whether you're going to have Wheat Bix for breakfast or Vegemite on toast, or maybe something more like whether you're going to save your money for your first car or just blow it all on tuck shop, or whether you're going to embrace the time and opportunity while you're here at Grammar or just mark time. As Priscilla said, I was a boarder here for 5 years. I hail from a cattle property in northwest Queensland. I was a real bush kid. I love being outside in the station, riding horses, motorbikes and mustering cattle. I did my primary education through Charles Towers Distance Education, being taught by my mother for 7 years, along with my 2 younger sisters. February 2005 was the start of my secondary schooling here at Grammar. Coming from the sticks and being homeschooled, it was a massive stepping into this big concrete slab as a 12-year-old bushy. At first, boarding life was hard for me and hard to adjust to. But once I had made a few mates and learned how to iron my shirt properly, I had the hang of it. My mother decided to buy me big school shirts so I'd grow into them. It was like wearing a tent. It was the old uniform. The director of boarding back then, Mr. Weir, would say, "Lethbridge, get that shirt tucked in, looks like you got a dress on." Now, I wasn't an academic student. I was a B+ boy, except occasionally fluked myself an A. And I thought I was good at maths until they introduced me to algebra. You'd remember this, Mrs. Hill? I still don't get it. Some boys in my dorm would just fly through and just get straight A's. And this was hard for me to accept. But I worked extra hard to get my grades. And I soon learnt there were some things I wasn't going to excel in, but I did in others. I made friends with everyone I could, mostly boarders and some day students, my teachers, boarding parents and even the groundsmen. I didn't care who they were or where they came from. I didn't care what colour they were or what they wore. To me, as Mr. Wilson said earlier, they all had a value to bring. Some were smart, some were good at sport, some would make you laugh, some were caring, some were good with computers, some were artistic, the list goes on. But the most important thing was they all had something positive to bring. This made boarding life and school really easy for me. I had 3 boys in my boarding house from Hong Kong. These boys were very shy at first until they started talking to me. This might come as a surprise, but they were actually better at speaking English than me. And the only thing was they couldn't understand my slang or some words. So I taught them slang, and in turn they taught me maths. I really will never forget the bond I had with those boys, and in the end they were just like any other mate I ever had. When I first got to grammar, I'd never even touched a footy, let alone played a team sport, and I relished the opportunity to be part of a team for the first time in my life. I loved playing rugby, and I got to captain the first side in grade 12. Now when I was in grade 8, I thought, there's no way I'll ever captain the firsts. And I never once expected to be asked to captain my team. But with hard work and dedication that I showed just from turning up and training and giving it 110%, got me there. It was the work I did and still do without the ball, and being part of a team would set me up for my future. When I left school, I worked on a large cattle property in the Gulf of Queensland, where I was also part of a young team of people. No different to being part of a rugby team, except there was no ball. I can tell every teenager here in this gymnasium, this is no different to real life. And don't get me wrong, we all make the odd bad decision, and that's normal because no one's perfect. Now whether you're sitting at the front here or down the back, whether you're a boarder or a day bug, whether you're male or female, black or white, when you walk out these school gates for the last time, all of a sudden the path for the rest of your life is up to your discretion. The only reason you're here right now is because your parents have made a decision to help better prepare you for the life ahead. I decided to follow 4 generations of my family before me and stay on the land. Many of my mates went and got various trades and uni degrees. They all made a choice for their career and life path they wanted to live. I made mine. I have no doubt that my 5 years spent as a boarder here at Grammar prepared me well for whatever direction I was to take. So in conclusion, my advice to you, one and all, is to put your head down and bum up and cherish the opportunity you've been given as part of the great grammar learning regime. A lot of the friends you've made here at Grammar will ultimately become lifelong friends, and this is, if nothing else, the greatest gift your school will ever give you. Thank you.